Tushan?
Yes, sir. We'll do that today. Actually, when
Hanji,
you
have you uploaded?
not yet, sir. I'll do that today.
So please do this because I think yesterday was the last day.
Yes. Actually, when you exceeded the deadline, I thought submission date would be exceeded too.
So please do and upload your assignments as early as possible.
No, sir.
Okay, so I think some of the assignments I have got, like Shruti had shared me, she had some problem of sharing, so she shared it on Google Drive. So maybe some of you who were, supposed to give presentations today, anybody who's want to give a presentation today, or you all want on Tuesday? Anybody who's willing to give the presentation, let me know so that we can have it today. Otherwise, we'll
Sir,
have
I
it on
think
next.
presentation can be offline.
Offline, yeah. It will be, on next Tuesday when in the class. Or if anybody who wants to give today, he can give. Okay, fine. So I'll keep last half an hour for anybody who, want to give the presentation. Okay. But I'd like to review some of the projects, some of them you won't like to share. Okay, like we reviewed Vansh team. So Vansh, have you carried out those changes?
Sir, basically, some changes which need to be carried are done by Manan, and he is not in the class, I
Achha,
guess.
so we'll wait for him, maybe that he joins. So we are already 17
He's
students.
there. He's there.
He's there.
He's
Manan, are
there.
you there?
Yes, sir.
तो आपने वो चेंजेस कर लिए हैं अभी? But it's a
सर
teamwork.
एक्चुअली वाइल आई वाज सबमिटिंग ना मैंने फाइल चेक करी तो उसमें कुछ आई थिंक करप्ट हो गया फाइल तो बस वही रिकवर करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ हर ब्लॉक में नम नम लिखा आ गया है
अच्छा.
तो बस वो रिकवर कर रहा हूँ मैं अभी
Okay, so maybe there's a formula kind of mismatch, so you can do that. Okay,
हाँ यस
fine.
सर
And
यस सर
any team they would like to share? I mean, after some time, because I didn't have any agenda to teach today. Basically, we thought we'll have presentation. Shruti has joined. Shruti, are you there? Shruti,
Yes, sir.
आपकी टीम में और कौन कौन है?
Shiny, Karthikeya, Swastika.
Okay, since you have already done your project and shared it on a Google Drive, so we'll just go through. I mean, your presentation. I mean, this thing. We'll not. You don't have to make a presentation. So you can just share, your working. So I'll just go through. Okay, fine. So nothing. I
Okay,
mean, you can. It will be kind of a preparation if you have done something. If I say that you have to make some changes, so you can do that. Okay, so maybe we'll have
okay,
some session.
sir.
So Yashika, are you there? Your group? याशिका ग्रुप में कौन कौन है?
Sir, I am there, Riya.
हाँ रिया, तो आप वो जो है जो आपने बनाया है वो आपने अपलोड कर दिया गूगल क्लासरूम में?
Sir, Yashika was to upload the assignment. I'll ask her and I'll let you know.
हाँ, तो वो अपलोड जो करा हुआ है वो अगर आपके पास की कॉपी है तो आप जस्ट आई मीन शो इट शेयर इट ऑन द दिस थिंग. ओके,
Okay,
so
okay.
where is Yashika?
Sir, I'll just call her. I guess she hasn't
Okay,
joined
so
yet.
she'll also join. So maybe we have Shruti and Yashika's team. We can just go through their work. Yashika has joined. Yashika, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. So अभी जो है now I'll just teach for a while and then we are going to review your project work and not presentation. So you can give it on Tuesday, or if you want you can give it today. It's up to you. But we can just browse through the file, and I'll have a look, what you people have done. Two groups.
All right.
Okay. Yashika and Shrutis. Okay. So, what has happened is that yesterday in the night, the GST, has been announced. The new rates have been announced, which will become applicable from 22nd of September. Okay. Now, it may impact your, projects somewhat. For example, because it's going to boost the demand for automobile, for health insurance, and cement and other companies. So if you have chosen any, kind of industry which is going to have an impact, so you can just make a small note of that while making a presentation. You can share, or you can again see that how the analysts have, maybe that, over the next a couple of days before you are about to make a presentation, that is Tuesday, by Monday, you may have find that, the sites have upgraded their earning EPS of those companies. Okay. So, or you can just go to, Chat GPT and AI and look for, how your industry is going to be impacted because of the reduction in the earning per share of those companies because of the sheer volume going up. If something becomes cheaper, people will buy more and it will become more profitable. Yeah, someone wants to join the class. So you can join it, by joining it through your own. So who is, joining? I can't see her. So Afreen. अफरीन कोई प्रॉब्लम होती है. Afreen, have you joined? Afreen, have you joined?
Yes, sir. Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning. You can join it through the BMU platform, so you will not require to my admission. Okay, fine.
Sir, this is college ID only.
Acha. But I think many students were able to join it without seeking my admission. So anyway, no problems. Okay. So what we are talking about, just to repeat for students who have joined late, we are going to have all the presentations on Tuesday. Okay, fine. See how many we can have on Tuesday, and then because the GST changes have happened, so it is going to boost the demand of your industry, what you have chosen. For example, if you have chosen healthcare, then healthcare has become totally exempt. There were 18% GST on healthcare, so which has been reduced to nil. Okay, so which is going to make healthcare policies much cheaper. Okay, and it will boost up the demand for more people going for higher healthcare premiums. They're going to jack up their insured premium and take a better policy, and it may benefit the company. Okay, now what happens is, because you people, I don't know whether you have done GST. Have you done GST, Yashika, in your course?
No, sir.
No. Now, what happens is that while you pay GST, you buy some things, you have to pay GST, you're allowed for input tax credit. Okay. So that means if you are like, for example, a Maruti car company, a Maruti, they manufacture car. Okay. So they have to pay, up to now they were paying 28%, GST on their cars sold. Now, for 1200cc and below, the GST is going to become 18%. Okay, and for the cars which are above 1200, the GST is going to be 40%. Okay, which was earlier 28%. But still, the cars will be cheaper. You know why? Because earlier there was a cess over and above 28%. So even the cars like SUVs, which are 1200cc and above, they were effectively paying 48% GST earlier. Now it will come to 40%. So companies like Maruti is going to benefit the most, or all the automobile companies. Their sales will get boost because their cars will become cheaper now, because the GST on small cars, which were having 28% GST, will now they have to pay 12%. Okay, or 18%, sorry. And even for the cars which are above 1200 GST, 1300 GST, whatever, 1200 GST, so they have to pay now 40 instead of 48 earlier. Okay, fine, which was 28% and plus some cess. Okay, so there were some goods in India they were coming under cess, like sin goods they were called, or demerit goods like cigarettes, alcohol, or cars, or beverages like Coke, all those things we take. So those were being charged with a very high duty. Okay, and there was a cess, which was called compensation cess. So this compensation cess was, actually collected on the sales of these sin goods. We call them sin goods because these goods are not good for health, or maybe that they are, luxury goods like cars, particularly luxury cars. Okay, or motorcycles which are beyond 350 cc. So there's some kind of a cess basically, and cigarettes. So that cess was basically given to the state governments, because the state governments, they were not agreeing for the GST reform because they were collecting huge, taxes on certain, materials like cigarettes and, all these cokes, beverages. So a way out was, worked out where all the states, they were supposed to, get 100% share on the compensation cess. Now the compensation cess has gone away because it was originally, thought that it will be there only for 5 years, but it of course, lasted for more than 5 years. But now the time had come. From 22nd of September, this compensation cess is going to be totally abolished. Okay, which will make, most of the goods cheaper compared to what they were earlier. So it is going to have an impact. Like, the other one was health. Now, by the time, if you can just, browse and understand how much it is going to impact, your own industry or as a journal, and just share your thoughts with me, just to share, health insurance. Like you take a policy on your hospitalization policy in case if you fall ill or your parents fall ill, you can be, they can be admitted to the hospital, and the hospital raises a bill, then they charge 18%. You have to take an insurance policy. So insurance policy, you have to pay 18% cess 18% GST on your insurance policy. So that has become totally nil. Okay, which means that your policy coverage, you can, you are assured that, even if you are admitted to the hospital, you will not be paying any money because you are covered. Now, if you are covered at a cheaper, value, so you will be very liberal in taking, because the health insurance was costing the most. Like, for me and my wife, I'm paying almost like 1 lakh rupees, of policy premium. Suppose I'm paying 1 lakh and I'm paying 18,000, 18,000 as GST. So earlier I was paying 1 lakh 18,000. So now I'll be paying only 1 lakh. So it is going to be a big kind of a change for all the people who are taking health insurance. But the only catch here was that most of the companies, health companies or insurance company in India, they do a reinsurance. Like suppose, a company like, insurance company, like, any company, insurance company, they get, they take a lot of, risk on their shoulders by selling policies. So, what they do is that they will get a insurance done for all the things which they have given to the customer. They'll get it done from someone else. Like suppose I'm an insurance company. I will, sell my insurance policy to you and collect the premium from you. But in turn, I'll take another insurance from another company for all the insurance policies which I have sold to you. Okay. In fact, if I am doing that, that means acting as an agent. Okay. So I'm just collecting the margin, because all the insurance risk is passed on to the reinsurer. Now, the reinsurer is going to raise his invoice, so it was also subject to GST. Now, the reinsurance has also been exempted under the new GST regime. So that means there will be no additional cost. It is most likely that all the insurance companies are going to pass on the GST benefit to the customers, because they would be now don't have to pay any GST. Even on the reinsurance, they were earlier, paying GST on the reinsurance. So now they won't be paying even GST on the reinsurance. So that means there'll be no additional cost to them. But of course, there is some, kind of a lacuna here, that there would be certain items on which there'll be no, benefit of this. So they may have to check up some premium, maybe around 4 or 5%. So that is what, I was just going through the business channel, and they were talking about. So in the meantime, you can also, have your own understanding, and it's a very, very important historical, event which has happened in our life. So we must know a little bit more about it. how it is going to impact. And again, you are doing some project and you're going to basically, some companies are going to get benefit like Maruti. If you see, a Maruti, for example, it's already 9:35. So if I see a screener, so Maruti has already, gone up very high because it is going to positively impact, companies like Maruti. So are we still there? Yeah. So I was saying, Maruti. So Maruti Suzuki. Okay. So if you see a chart of Maruti, so can you see a chart last 6 months? Sushant? Yashika, are you
Yes, sir.
there?
Yes, sir.
So what is the price of how the price has, gone up? What is the price today of Maruti per share?
So it is 14,973.
14,973. It has gone up by 0.35% because the market has gone up today. And if you look at, the Sensex today, okay, the Sensex have gone up by about 700 points today, because
Yeah,
this has been.
Nifty has gone up by 200 and Sensex by
Hanji?
700. Nifty by 200 and Sensex by
Nifty
700.
is gone up by 200 points. Nifty, if you look at, it has gone up by almost like 200 points. Yeah. So we are very close to 25,000 again. Okay. So if you look at Nifty, for example, and Nifty, if you look at, the Nifty, it is still below its all-time this thing. All-time high was 26,277. Okay, fine. And it is now close to about 25,000. It's about 1,200 points below its, this thing. So, you can see, so it was here the highest, which was 26,000 something. And now then it went down. There was a deep correction after September. I mean, last September. So the market started going down, and then it touched the bottom somewhere in March, and then started again touched the bottom in March, and then started to rise. And just after the US tariffs were announced, the market started falling again. Sentimentally, it was negative news for us. So then, the GST, somewhere around 15th of August, when the Prime Minister announced that, they are going to make some changes. And now again, it is going up. So there was some reduction because of the, this thing. So, if you look at past 1 year, so it is almost like, no return. So it's down by 291 points compared to past 1 year. So 1 year, if anybody has invested any money 1 year back, so there is no kind of a, return he has got. But if you look at a return of, say, about 3 years of something, so return has been great. So, in 5 years, the return has been 120%. Okay. Like, almost like 22% return on a simple basis per year. So it's a phenomenal increase which has happened. So the last year has been quite a little bit of rest. Sometimes the markets move, they say beyond the fundamentals. So market has, gone up so much that it has, because I told you the market can make mistakes. Like, if you look at the market had made a mistake, it had gone up to 26,000. It has gone ahead of the fundamentals. That means what the fundamentals were telling that the companies are good, everything is good. So people have been buying them and pushing up the prices. They were like crazy and putting up the prices to very high. So the market became quite overvalued in last September. And then thereafter, it started reacting. Okay. As and then, it went down much below than what it should have been. And now again, it has been going up. So the markets are now almost reaching to a level of, say, 25,000. Okay. For example, if you look at again, so market is today, around 180. It was 200 points up just a few minutes back. So it will keep going up and down. And we expect the markets to touch 25,000 soon again. But still, the market will be lower compared to the last 1 year point. And we may be, not making any return for the investors who, joined the Nifty or the share market about a year back. But those people you have been investing for the last 5 years, they are still sitting on about 15 to 20% kind of a return per annum. Okay. So markets don't give, like a uniform return, but they keep giving, some years can be very good, some years can be flattish, some years can be negative, but the mean overall return which the companies, which the market gives is close to about, say about between 12 to 15% over a long time frame. Okay. Particularly the large caps. The mid caps and small caps can give much higher returns. So coming back to, for example, if you look at, a Maruti, for example, okay, and look back to Maruti and see how much return it has given. So it has given like, if you look at this is the stock CAGR, okay, how the stock prices have gone up for Maruti. So 10-year frame, it has given around 14% return. Okay, fine. And in 1 year, it has gone up by 21% because the Maruti has jumped so much. Despite 1 year has been a flattish for all other companies, Maruti is going to have a great impact because of the GST. So over the last few days, it has gone up by about 10 to 12%. So making the return to 21% for this year. 3 years, 19%, 5 years. So if you take a long time, this thing, so it is 14%. On a long-term horizon, most of the companies' stock prices return will match the return on equity. So return on equity is 13%, and the return given by the stock market, increase in the price is also among about 14%. So over the time, return on equity and stock CAGR are going to converge at the same this thing for most of the companies, not always. Okay, fine. So let's come back to this. And Maruti has gone up. Now, can you share, which are other companies, like, if you're doing what kind of a project? Yashika, which industry you're chosen?
So IT sector industries,
Which one?
TCS.
IT.
Yeah.
Okay. So IT is basically a service industry. Okay. So just look at, find out, how it is going to be impacted. I don't think it will get impacted so much because of the GST, because there was an 18%, on services. So I don't know whether it has been brought to 12%. I don't think so. So IT may not be, but IT may go up because of some other reason, but not because of, the GST. But I mean, just we have
The
to,
GST for IT services is unchanged. It does not change much.
Acha. Okay. Fine. So it has not changed. For IT industries, the goods and services tax will not boost the IT industry so much. Okay. Like, what other things are going to become cheaper? Like air conditioners, the duty was 28%. Now it is going to be 12%, 18%. So all the AC companies, okay, they will become now they will become more profitable. So if you have chosen, like Blue Star or, I mean, other companies, Voltas, if that was your, industry which you are analyzing, so there'll be a lot of boost to those companies. Any other distinct thought? Sushant? I mean,
Yes, sir.
okay. So आपको कोई अंश now अंश के साथ था वो the other guy who was that last time giving a lot of answers. I'm just forgetting his name. Abhishek, are you there? Okay. So who else? So any thoughts? I mean, have you gone through the GST? Abhishek Mishra joined. Abhishek, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
हाँ. So आप कौन सी इंडस्ट्री कर रहे हैं अभी अपना रिव्यू?
Sir, power industry.
Power industry. Okay. Power also is largely unaffected because of the GST kind of, changes which has happened. Okay. But कुछ GST के बारे में, have you read something? How it is going to, which all products will become cheaper? Anyone?
Sir, basic essential products like so consumption related products,
Yeah.
I would
So
say.
each one of you just Google and on the chat box mention any product which is going to become cheaper and say that the duties, the GST is going to become from so much to so much. So just have your, just have a Google session.
So stationery items
Which one?
again.
Stationery items.
stationery items. It's become, I think, 0% for them.
It has become nil, as you are saying. The duty has become nil from, say, either 5% or 12%. So
From 5 to
from
0, yeah.
5%, it has become nil. So tell me, there are any goods, any other goods which have become, the duty has become, yeah, Saurav Sharma, tire or tractors from 18 to 5%. Very good. And just keep, I mean, giving your, this thing so that I can see the pop-ups. Okay. So this will be like a class participation. So please do it. Okay. Just go to Google. I'll give you 5 minutes. A kind of 5 to 10 minutes, halt on that. So you can just Google and find out, give your own, like, somebody has said that, like Saurav Sharma says that, tires for tractors 18 to 5%. So very good. And then we have, Vaishali is saying that automobiles 28 to this thing. Saurabh Sharma again saying that erasers are going to become 5% to nil. Wonderful. So you can even say, I mean, more and more. So all these people who are saying, I'll get recorded that because it's getting recorded. So while I'm giving marks on the class participation, so they will get household items, Abhishek, items such as tooth powder, feeding bottles. So duty has become 5%. Then, solar cells, the duty will become from 12 to 5%. Very good, Akshat. Vishali Mundra from 18 to 12. So others, please join. So another 3 minutes, you can keep writing so that, it should come to my, Saurav Sharma is very active. Okay, so Saurav, Vishali, Saurabh, then again Abhishek Mishra, then Akshat, then Vishali, then Saurabh, and then Vishali, and then Yashika, 40% slab on sin and luxury goods. So there is a 40%. Now, Yashika, just, because there is a 40% slab now, earlier it was 28% plus cess. So now it has become 40%. Okay. So on the face, it looks that it has gone up, but the cess has gone away. Okay. So the products will become cheaper even with 40% slab on thin and luxury goods. Because, when you are buying luxury goods, you are paying 28% plus cess. So cess you don't have to pay. So for example, you were paying 48% tax earlier, including 18%, 28%. So now you're paying only 40%. So the goods will become cheaper. Like, SUV cars with, a big costly cars, a very heavy duty cars or very luxury cars, you were paying 48%, 28 plus another 20% cess. So that cess has gone up. So you have to pay only 40. So Vansh Agarwal, and then, we have Ansh, then again Vansh, Harshit. So please, I think still almost like 50% students have not given their feelers. Okay. Because when I, close this and move on, because all this is getting recorded. Okay. So it will tell me, how many students have actually, given this thing. So Swati, I have not seen your anything. Ria, I have not seen your. Afreen, I have not seen yours. Abhishek Mishra is, very active, at least 2 or 3 entries. Daksh has done, Saurabh has done, Abhishek has done, Ansh, very good. So Subhash, Shushant is done, Ria, very good. Milk has become 0%, very good, Ria. Diksha, so very good. Abhishek, wonderful. Saurabh, okay. So I'll again, check. So this is, this will be the impact on because the GST. Now, what you people have to do is that, try to see that how it is going to impact your industry, basically, what, you're doing. Abhishek Mishra, Sandri Gahotri, then Saurav, very good. Saurav is doing a lot of good job. Anyway, so coming back to, so any other thoughts? Nishchay, Akshat, very good. Duty on spectacles and Googles have been changed. So somebody can, just copy this, okay? And if you enter something, you can just copy and put it in the this thing, okay? WhatsApp group. So, I can remember that, you participated. So just put it like this, okay? Fine. So like if you can see now, Saurav Sharma has done, read more. So anybody who puts it after, I have started something else. So then you can just, put your a remark on the WhatsApp, or you can just straight away give your remark on the WhatsApp. Okay, fine. So that it gets into my memory. Okay. Now there were some things which I just wanted to share. Let's see, it's getting recorded. Yes. So we will. Punjab industry. Okay. So there's something called, a term which is called uh, precedent transaction analysis. So we're just going to cover a little bit of that. Okay. Who is going to read? Yashika or anyone who can volunteer? Can you read something? First two couple of sentences.
Sure, sir, but your screen is not visible.
Okay, screen is not visible. Okay, so I'll do that. Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Just read the top two lines.
Okay. Precedent transaction analysis, PTA, also known as comparable transactions or transaction comps, is a valuation method used in finance to assess the value of a company by looking at the prices paid for similar companies in past transactions.
Okay, just hold on. Now, what happens is that, this is something called precedent transaction analysis. Now, this is used only during mergers and acquisitions. Whenever a company wants to grow. Now, whenever a company is, feeling that they should, grow, they should expand their operations, either by putting more money for buying an existing company, or, buying a land, or setting up a new factory. Okay, so either you can go organically or you can go inorganically. So inorganical growth is through merger and acquisitions. That means you acquire companies which are all doing the similar kind of business. For example, Idea Cellular, they acquired another company in say, for growing their telephone mobile. They bought another mobile company called Escotel, which was owned by Escorts. So instead of taking a new license from the government, from telecom industry, ministry, what they did was they bought a company which was run by a group called Escorts, and they were offering their mobile telephony in Haryana, for example. So they could start their mobile services in Haryana by acquiring a company, rather than starting something new by putting up their own network, buying land, and then buying a license from the government, and then doing all that I mean, all the work which takes a lot of time to set up your own setup. So they said, okay, we'll just bypass that. We will going to buy something which is already there in the ground, and which will be help them to grow much faster. So that is called basically inorganic growth, by doing mergers or acquisitions. Rather, acquisitions would mean that you're acquiring new companies. Okay. So when you acquire company, so you have to pay a price to the target company. Now, in this case, there'll be two people. One will be an acquirer, another will be a target. So that means, like Idea Cellular was an acquirer, and Escotel, which was running, their mobile services in, say, Haryana. So they were the target company. So you have to pay some money to the shareholders of Escotel, okay, which would be the promoters, as well as their, shares, which are, holders, which have bought the shares from the market. So you have to procure almost like 50%, more than 50% stake, to make that company your subsidiary. or you can buy even 100% stake of that company. Like Idea did, they bought 100% stake of Escotel because all the shares were mostly held by Nandas, who were basically the promoters of this company. Now, when you buy, all the shares of another company, now even if the shares are listed on the stock exchange, but if you want to buy a bulk of the stocks, you can't buy, shares from the stock market. Okay. Now there is a rule, there is something rule which is called takeover code in India, which prohibits, any person from buying more than 10 to 15% shares of a company through stock exchange. That means, for example, if you have a company which is listed in the stock exchange, then you can't buy, more than 5, 10, 15% shares from the stock exchange. Because if your intention is to become the owner of that company, because you want to increase your shares more than the promoters, so you will gain control on that company. Okay. So you can't do that. Okay. Because there is a code in India. There is a code everywhere in the world prohibiting such kind of takeovers. So you have to, through the code, which is announced by SEBI, you have to make a offer to the shareholders of the company directly. Okay, by sending them letters, by first of all announcing, in the newspaper that our company would like to buy the shares of another company so that we want to gain control over that company, and we are going to pay you much higher than what is the price which is prevailing on the stock exchange. This can be also be done. Okay. So, whenever a company who is going to acquire another company, they have to pay slightly more normally compared to whatever is the stock price which is prevailing on the stock exchange. And that is called the control premium. Okay. That is called the control premium. So you have to pay more money if you want to acquire and gain control of other company and you want to make the other company your subsidiary company. Okay. Now here, in precedent transaction analysis, what you look at is that you are looking at other companies, who have bought almost similar companies in the past transactions. At what price they bought. Okay. Like suppose if you are buying a land in Gurgaon in sector 50, so you will find out, at what price, it has been, others have bought in the last 3 months. Okay. Or last 1 month or last 15 days, because that will give you an idea, how much money you have to spend. Okay. Similarly, in case of companies, when you're going to buy another company, so you have to look at the price of some transactions which have happened just before you are going to buy. Okay. Read this key idea. Yashika.
If similar companies were acquired in the past, the prices paid for them can serve as benchmark for valuing a current target company.
Okay. Now, yeah, just I just allow me to just say something and then you can move. So this I have already covered, that you have to just see what prices the other companies have been bought. So that will become a benchmark for valuing the current target company, because the new company which you are going to buy, you have to value it. Okay. So whatever the price which have been paid in past, so that will become a benchmark for valuing the target company. Now, how it works, please read.
First, we select the comparable transactions, identify past mergers and acquisition transactions involving companies similar to the target in industry, size, geography, and growth profile, then analyze deal metrics for each transaction, calculate key multiples such as EV by revenue.
Okay. Now, what you are going to do is, first of all, you're going to see that, the comparable transactions. Okay. That means the transaction of similar industry size, because you would be looking for those companies which are similar in nature, how they have been bought and what is the price. So then you're going to, look at some deal metrics like EV upon revenue. How was the EV upon revenue of that company? What price was paid? EV upon EBITDA. So I'm just going to make it, view straight view. Okay. So that it is there. So analyze deals metrics. That means for each transaction, calculate the key multiples such as EV upon revenue, EV upon EBITDA, P ratio. Okay. So you look at, how much price was paid by the acquirer in terms of EV upon revenue, in terms of EV upon EBITDA, in terms of P ratio of the target company. Okay. So you're going to calculate, at what price the target company was valued. Okay. By the acquirer at that time. Third, can you read this? Third and fourth.
Adjust for differences, consider timings, economic cycles, synergies, deal type, hostile or friendly, and strategic versus financial bias. Then apply multiples to target. Apply the relevant multiples to the target company's financials to estimate its
So this
valuation
completes,
range.
this last two will complete, what will be the value of the target company. Adjust for differences. Consider timing. Now, if you find the deal which you are looking at happened about 2 years back. Okay. Now, 2 year back is a very long time framework. The economic cycles, change. There are certain companies which are, cyclical companies. They keep going up and down their profits. Okay. So you have to see that, the either the deal which has happened quite recently. If the recent deal is not there, you have to make some different adjust. You have to make some adjustments. Synergies, deal type. Sometimes if it's a very hostile takeover, then you tend to pay, more. For example, when Tata's acquired, a steel company in Europe, which is called Chorus, which happened quite a long back. So they found that there was another company which was interested to buy that company also. So there was a competition among Tata's and a Brazilian company who also became interested in buying that steel company. So they had to pay a much higher price because of the competition, because of the auction which was happening in the market. So if it's a hostile transaction, definitely the acquirer will be paying much a higher price. Okay, so you have to factor in that. If it's going to be a friendly one, then you don't have to pay. If the company is already willing to be bought, okay, and they say, okay, I mean, we can't run the company ourselves. The promoter says that, you please buy us, and we would like to exit from that company. In that case, it will not carry much of a premium. The share prices or the EV upon revenue and EV upon EBITDA will not be very high. Okay, so you have to consider all these things before, and if any high price has been paid, it must be adjusted. If it's a hostile takeover and, you have a friendly takeover, analysis of earlier analysis, then you have to, adjust for some, control premium, you have to pay more. Suppose, the past transaction was on a friendly basis, but now you're going to acquire because, there's a lot of competition and the other company is not willing to be bought. So it's going to be a hostile takeover. That means you're going to enter into an auction and, going to raise your prices so that the shareholders surrender the shares to you. So you have to pay a higher price to acquire the company. Okay. If any transaction which has happened in past, so you have to make some differences, some adjustments for that. Okay. Then after you have done that, you're going to apply the multiples to the target company and find out what is the valuation range. Okay. So common uses are, just read the common uses, Rashika.
Amid evaluation, fairness opinions, hostile takeover defense, and IPO
So these are
pricing.
basically the common uses. The precedent analysis is used mainly for merger and acquisitions, okay, or even for IPO pricing. Okay, fine. Now, just read that advantages.
Advantages would be it reflects real market data and actual deal prices, accounts for control premiums and synergies.
Okay, so advantages reflects the real market data and actual deal prices. So if you have a lot of companies which are being have been bought earlier, so you have a lot of data to analyze, which is an actual data to find out whether if suppose you are going to buy a piece of land in say Gurgaon, if 100 land piece of land 100 transactions have happened in the last month, so it will give you a very good idea about what was the price of the land which people have paid for a similar land which you're going to buy now. So similarly in merger and acquisition, if a lot of merger and acquisitions have happened recently in the last 6 months, so it will help you basically because you're looking at the real prices which have happened, real deals which have happened. Okay, the actual deal prices accounts for control premiums and synergies. So basically, how much premium you have to pay more above the price which is prevailing on the stock exchange. Okay, because there will be a lot of synergies also because if you want to buy another company, okay, and it is going to help you out. You are going to get some synergic benefit out of it. Okay, because suppose what are called synergy. Do you know what is the meaning of synergies? Uh, Anyone? Akshay?
Basically, when two people or two groups from different departments or cross linkages
Uh,
there, they work together in a very collaborative
Absolutely. Who
model.
said that? Who said that?
So
Yashika,
Yashika.
very good. Like, like suppose you're doing this project. Somebody is very good in, churning data. Somebody is good in presentation. So you can collaborate together and give the best out of it. So you use each other's, qualities, collaborative qualities to give the best of your this thing to the project. So when I assess the project, I look, how you have worked in a team. So 50% marks will be based on that. So similarly, the company, when you buy another company, there will be a lot of benefits which may happen because other company may be very good at other things. Fine. And your company may not be good on those things. So when you buy another company, so it will help your company also. Suppose the other company is, technically advanced than you. So you can, get their technology and deploy it in your own production. So it will improve your own valuation. Okay. Limitations. Just read this.
May be outdated if market conditions have changed, no two deals are exactly alike, and data can be scarce or
So
undisclosed.
limitations are maybe outdated. Suppose if the market conditions have changed and you have some data to look at which is quite old, okay, then the data will be of no use to you. Okay. No two deals are exactly alike. If a new deal would be something new. Okay. So maybe it will give you some kind of this thing to find out what should be the price. But the past deals may not be of any use to you because the deals are not exact. Data can be scarce or undisclosed. Now sometimes the data is not disclosed so much. What happened on the back channels when the one company was acquiring another company. What happened on the closed doors meetings, and all the data which was so confidential, they are not shared in the public domain. So you may not have all the information available in the public domain, and some of the data would be very vital. Okay, if it is not there, then you can't have a very good understanding about the price. Okay, so now we are going to have a small break. After the break, we will do a case study. Okay, fine. Valuing a company called Zentech Corp using Precedent Tech Transaction. So Yashika, can you read this, the first line, sorry, up to this?
Yes, sir.
Then we will carry on. Read the first two lines, couple of lines, then we have a break for about 15 minutes.
Okay, sir. So you are a financial analyst at a boutique investment bank. Your firm is advising a client interested in acquiring Zentech Corp, a mid-sized software company generating consistent EBITDA margins and revenue growth. To value Zentech, you are asked to perform a precedent transaction analysis using the following historical mergers and acquisitions data
Okay. Yeah,
from
read, yeah.
multiple companies.
Okay, from the data, companies in the same industry. Okay, to value Zentech, you are asked to perform a precedent and transaction analysis using the following historical M&A data from the comparable companies in the same industry. Okay, so this is the case study. What we'll be doing after we meet, after the break. So it is 10:08. So we are going to meet at 10:30. Is it okay?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.